This is 12 3-minute rounds of boxing. Your referee at the belt is John Keane of Wellingborough.
You both received instructions in the dressing room. You know what to expect, okay? Okay? Shake hands, grab boxing.
Well, some old-fashioned eyeballing from Shinny Bayaar at the youngster Paul Edwards, and shades of Bernard Hopkins when he drew his finger across his throat in the throat-slitting gesture, which, well, it's an interesting one. British Flyweight title, Bayaar, Mongolian-born, now defending the title that he won in a terrific battle against Chris Edwards. Paul Edwards, the Liverpudlian in the black shorts, just 24 years old, undefeated, and with only 32 rounds against Bayaar's 134. So that is a big difference in terms of experience. And there are the odds. Shinny Bayaar 11-4 on with the bookmakers. Paul Edwards 2-1 against, and 28-1 if you fancy the draw. But it's a big step up in class, this, for Paul Edwards. But great potential and a very good amateur.
He's a lovely boxer, but I mean, they're asking a lot of him here after seven fights to face Bayaar. Bayaar is a little bit of a tearaway. He's a southpaw, he's very experienced, he's mature. So, I mean, it's a chance worth taking. I mean, I'm not saying he's unbeatable, it's quite the opposite. So it is a chance worth taking. He's only about 3 6-rounders under his belt, Edwards, so not to ask.
Bayaar has been beaten in the past, but he hasn't lost since December 2004 in 10 fights since then, when he was defeated by Martin Power. And straight away, heads going close, and is Bayaar cut? There's blood around the left eye, I think.
That was a bad clash. I think there's a smudge of blood on Edwards' head from the injury. Bayaar.
It's Bayaar who's cut, and there's a lot of blood coming streaming down his nose.
It's a bad one, John. It looks as if it's swelled as well, so it's wide open.
It's cut over the left eye. It's a nasty one. Head clash, we think, has done that. We'll take another close look at that. Punches around the back of the head, and referee John Keane having to tidy it up. So these are anxious times indeed for the champion, Bayaar. Paul Edwards looking for an early finish here. They're going to have to go to work, and already John Keane is going to take him back to the corner, and Frank Hopkins tidying it up, and the doctor's getting up there to have a look.
That's a horrible cut, as I say, and it's wide open. The cut seems to be gaping. It was without doubt a clash of the heads. It was a terrible clash of heads. That's a terrible injury. I mean, it's more of a tear than a cut. You had to stop that fight. That is a horrible injury.
They've stopped it, and according to the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control, that means that the title has changed hands. And in the opening round, Shinny Bayaar stopped on a dreadful cut. And 24-year-old Paul Edwards, the undefeated Scouser, is the new British Flyweight champion, but your heart goes out to Bayaar.
Yeah, well, nothing we say tonight is going to comfort Bayaar, but you have to expect the Board of Control will order a rematch as soon as that cut has healed. Looking at the cut and the length of time it may take to heal, I'm quite sure Paul Edwards can have a defence before then. But terrible luck and a terrible time. The fight hadn't even warmed up yet, but it was a horrible clash. You knew as soon as you saw that clash someone was going to be damaged, and it was Shinny Bayaar, and it looked more like a tear than just a cut. No cut man in the business could have done anything with that injury. The referee had no choice but to stop it, or get the doctor to stop it.
Jim, the rules are due to be changed in January. In January, that would have been ruled and deemed a no contest.
Yep, exactly, a no contest. And you can see, I mean, there is a case for that. I mean, it's a crazy rule. You could be 10 rounds in front and head clashes rule you out, and you've lost the fight. I think Britain's going to have to move in with the rest of the world. Well, I wonder, feel so sorry.
I wonder if the board will say there's got to be a rematch. Maybe they'll make Bayaar a mandatory challenger somewhere down the line. But for the moment, we have a new champion, which Gary Logan can confirm in the name of Paul Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time, 1 minute and 56 seconds of the first round. Bayaar having sustained a very severe cut eye. Your winner and new British Flyweight champion from Liverpool, Paul Edwards.
Well, disappointment for Shinny Bayaar. A low-key celebration for Paul Edwards, the new British Flyweight champion. But next is that all-Celtic clash for the British Featherweight title. Martin Lindsay at home in Belfast, the British Featherweight champion who outpunched Paul Appleby to win the title, defended against Jamie Arthur. He wants to go on from this and chase European and world honours, but can he show his skills against a very tough Scotsman by the name of John Simpson? Let's get ringside reaction. John Rawling talking to the winning fighters. Ed Robinson, pardon me.
Well, Paul, British champion in just your 8th pro fight, but was that a bit of an anticlimax because of the way it ended?
Yeah, it was, because it was a cut in the first round, but it's boxing, innit? You know, I'm happy to be British champion. I'm more than happy. I'm over the moon. I'll give him a rematch if he wants one, like.
Do you feel some sympathy for him losing like that?
Yeah, of course I do. He's a boxer like me. He puts his body through hell, doesn't he? You know what I mean? For 12 weeks, that's what I've done. It's just unlucky for him.
Presumably you felt in control of the fight. I know it was very early days anyway. How do you feel it would have developed from there if there hadn't been a cut?
Yeah, it was only the first round, but I felt good. I've trained hard and I felt the best I've ever felt. I've been training for 12 weeks. I felt I would have took him out, to be honest.
Robert Smith from the Board of Control. It's a bit of an unfair rule, isn't it, for someone to lose on a cut in the first round like that?
Well, as you know, from January the 1st, we're bringing in the technical decision rule, so that won't happen again. But it is unfortunate, but it's always been the case up until now. And Paul's lucky, Chinny's a little bit unfortunate, but from January the 1st, the rules are changing.
Frank, will we see a rematch?
Yeah, I think so. You know, Paul said it, but you got to give Paul credit. I mean, he dealt with a southpaw perfectly right. It's the best I've ever seen a British boxer deal with a southpaw. He moved to the left and threw a straight right hand. That's all you got to do when you fight a southpaw. He didn't miss him with one right hand, so I think the result was inevitable anyway.
And Paul, you're still going to celebrate, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it home to my family, to me nin sitting at home. This is for you and my mum and Danny and George. Without these, wouldn't be able to do it.
Well done.
Yeah, congratulations to Paul Edwards on winning the title, but a shame the way it turned out. Dave, it was disappointing. You don't want to see a potentially good fight, finish in such controversial circumstances, do you?
No, because even fighters don't want to win that way because it's proving nothing. But some of the governing bodies, the rules are different. When you have an accidental clash of heads, it becomes a non-contest. The fight stopped. There's no winners. And then the next thing is there's a rematch, which I think is fair, because for somebody to lose under those circumstances, because it was genuinely accidental. So Edwards didn't mean it, and Bayaar, there's nothing he could do. But it's so sad to see people losing fights, under those circumstances. But I'm only hoping that young Edwards there does give Bayaar another chance to regain his British flyweight title, because it was very, very sad the way it happened.
Does it take the shine off winning a belt when you win it in that manner, or doesn't it matter?
No, it definitely takes the shine off. I mean, it's a shame what happened. The fight was only a couple of minutes old, and it was shaping up to be a good fight. I don't think the referee called it a clash of heads. Now, how the referee didn't see that, I don't know. I mean, it was so obvious it was a clash of heads. The referee should have stepped in here and should have, let everyone know it was a clash of heads, and if the fight.
Jim almost said it's like a tear because the head goes across.
Well, yeah, but it was a clash of heads across the cut. The referee should have stepped in immediately and informed everybody there's been a clash of heads here, and that's why the cut came about. If the fight had went on a couple of rounds, whoever was leading on points would have got the decision. I've never seen this happen so early in the fight myself personally. I've never seen it. So I don't know what to say. I think there should be a rematch, without doubt. There should. The next fight they should have should be for the same title again.
He is within his rights to call for the rematch, isn't he?
Yeah, because to lose it, you have to put yourself in that position. I was once a fighter, and losing, never happened to me, but I know how fighters feel, and he'll be absolutely devastated, and he'll be even more devastated if he doesn't get a rematch. But I'm only hoping that everybody sees sense and they make a rematch almost right away.
Up now.